Hello, everybody. Captain Marty Bro here. On Monday, September the 8th, we've put a big weekend in the books. We've had the last of our offshore tournaments. I'll tell you about that in today's report. And we've had some good fishing of several varieties. A lot to talk about in the report, so stay right where you're at. Pour yourself a cup of coffee, and I'll be right back.
Electricity, something I don't mix well with at all, and that's why I only trust the folks at ELS OBX. ELS OBX offers a variety of services from custom electrical installations to lighting design. ELS OBX has the experience and know-how to complete any job. They're committed to providing the highest quality lighting and electrical installations or service at affordable prices. Visit them online at elsobx.com to get a brighter idea of how shockingly awesome they are. See what I did there? ELS OBX, electrical and lighting solutions you can count on.
Red Drum Tackle in Buxton is the oldest complete tackle shop at Cape Hatteras. And being the closest tackle shop to Cape Point, Red Drum Tackle has been welcoming fishermen to Hatteras Island with a wide selection of bait and tackle, skilled custom rod builds, rod and reel repair, expert knowledge and information since 1974. Red Drum Tackle knows how, when, and where to fish. To acquire this fishing brain power, visit them online at reddrumtackle.com. Red Drum Tackle, the oldest complete tackle shop at Cape Hatteras and the closest to Cape Point in Buxton.
So, per usual, we start down in Hatteras. I started down in Hatteras myself in 1975. That's 50 years ago. Drove a van up from my hometown of Ponce Inlet, Florida. I graduated from high school down there in Daytona Beach, which is where I was from. Walked across the stage, got my diploma, kissed my mom and dad and my grandmother goodbye, and drove all night long to get to Hatteras. And I always have had a soft spot in my heart for those people down there. They were so good to me, and I was just a young kid away from home, but things happened there that changed my life path, and I have no regrets. So let's start with those guys down in Hatteras. Some of those same people are still charter fishing down there, like Buddy Hooper, for instance, on the Hatteras Fever. So they had good wahoo fishing yesterday, and they had a few blackfin tuna, and they had a few dolphin or mahi in the catches. Some of them did a little bottom fish. So you would say, well, that's working for it, which they were. And they came up with their day of fishing. But one boat in the middle of all that had a gold star catch. The chaser went out and caught not one, not two, but 3 blue marlin, which he released, and then topped it off with 2 sailfish as well. Too bad he didn't get the white marlin for the Grand Slam, but anytime you catch 3 blue marlin in a day, that's a big day of fishing. 3 blue marlin, 2 sailfish on the chaser, on the charter boat chaser, so good going to them. They continue to fish around the inlet for Spanish and bluefish down there. The Oregon Inlet Fleet, I saw an unusual catch yesterday from my old buddy Captain Brenner Parks on the smoker. Of course, we've been talking so much about the great white marlin fishing. We'll get to that in just a second, but Brenner must have had a meat party yesterday because he filled the dock up with blackfin tuna, and as if that wasn't enough, he went bottom fishing. I'm not sure what the fish were I saw the picture of. They did not look like tile fish. They actually looked more like jacks, but it could have been something he caught around some float, like a triple tail or something like that, but he had like 10 or 12 of those. He had the dock full of meat fish. His quote was, "Good time to can some tuna." And by the way, I don't really know how to do that, but I've had some that Hilda Bayless prepared. John Bayless is the famous boat builder, his wife. Man, that is really good. When you take fresh blackfin or yellowfin tuna and can it, it's not that hard to do. You do need a pressure cooker. I have the pressure cooker. I have the jars. What I'm missing is the tuna. So anyway, I can't complain because I was over working the last tournament of the year, which I mentioned earlier, which was the Community Care Clinic 4th annual tournament. We had like 22 or 3 boats fishing that tournament, and a big congratulations to my old buddy Captain Dickie Harris on the Fantastic, who helps us so much with our fishing reports. And he went out there with no sonar and beat all the guys with the sonars. He had 2 blue marlin. The only 2, there was 50 billfish caught, only 2 blue marlins. He caught both of them. And he caught 2 white marlins to win hands down in that tournament. Also, congratulations to Joey Belton on the haphazard. He finished second on his beautiful Spencer boat, which I think is one of the prettiest. That particular boat is one of the prettiest boats that Paul Spencer ever built, one of the prettiest boats in the fleet. But his angler, not one of his anglers, but one of his crew is actually John Bayless, the competitor to Paul Spencer, fishing on there, I think maybe as the sonar guy. But all this is all in good fun for a great cause, the Community Care Clinic. I learned a lot about it anyway, but it was really good. And the nice thing about all that is a couple of the captains brought me some dolphin fillets or mahi fillets. And buddy, I put some on, well, here's what I did. I put some on the grill last night, and I put more than I could eat, twice as much as I could eat. You want to know why? Because I had half of that for dinner, and then I chilled the other half overnight. And today I will make dolphin salad with a little fresh banana mesquite, sweet onion chopped up, a little relish, a little Duke's mayonnaise. Gonna be some good grub. So there was a lot of stuff going on. Both of our fleets doing some bottom fishing and poking away at that as well. Now, what else have we got? Pier and surf fishing, very generic fishing across the board. It's really hard to tell from Facebook posts and websites what the numbers are, because so often they just say, we heard of this and that, or we had this and that and the other. Unless I hear of a trend, something that's really biting one particular species, I don't spend a whole lot of airtime on it. But when you put all that together, the mix is what you want, especially if you got kids or are new to fishing. So the North Beach, really everything north of Oregon Inlet, a nice mix of puppy drum, blues, Spanish mackerel, sea mullet, croakers, and then down on Hatteras Island, throw in a few pompanos, a few drum down that, a few maybe yearling drum down that way, and that's what you got. So it's a nice mix on a pretty day, and it rained a little bit in the afternoon, but fish were already wet. We'll take a little break, and I'm going to come back and talk to you a little bit fishing back in the Sound, and we will have a report from the Miss Oregon Inlet, my longtime sponsor.
Hey y'all, Captain Marty here. And when I was looking for a top quality mower, I went to the best. And the best is A&W Sales in Pinetown. Now at A&W Sales, they carry top quality brands like the Bad Boy zero-turn mowers, of which I own one now for 15 years. American-made, heavy-duty machines built to handle anything from backyard touch-ups to commercial jobs. They've proudly sold and serviced Bad Boy mowers for over 15 years. How about if you're in need of a trailer? A&W Sales carries the full line of Big Tex trailers, the best-selling trailer brand in the entire nation. Visit them in-store or online at awsalesnc.com, where tough equipment meets trusted service.
So yesterday in church, I saw Gaither Midget come over from Mans Harbor all the way over to Englehard. And I also saw Ben Brown and his girlfriend Camille. Ben is the captain of the Miss Oregon Inlet. They may not fish on Sundays, I'm not sure. But he was in church, him and Camille. She's the first mate on there. And he just told me they're having really good flounder fishing while we have this short season open. The next couple of days will be the time to go. But good flounder fishing. And then they had some big croakers. I think he said they had one yellow belly croaker, which is a really, really big one. Sea mullet and bluefish. It's a great time to go on a headboat. Miss Oregon Inlet is an inshore headboat. They'll fish around the inlet. They go back in the Sound. It's calm water fishing. It's a half-a-day trip, and they even have an evening trip that's a little shorter than that. It's very affordable, and if you're here and you want to take your kids out and introduce them to fishing with all the tackle and all the bait and all the fishing licenses you'll need already supplied on a nice modern twin-engine headboat with a really good crew, go give the Miss Oregon Inlet a try. They tie up at the Oregon Inlet Fishing Center and meet them when they come into the dock. Talk to Captain Ben and his crew or Camille and find out what is biting and how you can get on board. So the Miss Oregon Inlet is one option, and then there's been a real good flounder. There's been some flounder for sure in the Sound, but there's also been a good drum bite. I talked to a friend who would shoot me if I mentioned him by name, but the drum bite has been pretty darn good around Duck Island. Some of them schooling up on top. And there are other places as well, from the backside of Hatteras Island all the way over to the Englehard side of the Pamlico Sound. Fish in all size classes represented, but mostly they're the 40, 44-inch drum, big ones, and a lot of that bite is happening in the evening, but not all of it. So there are guide boats available in every area. Just make sure it's a legitimate guide boat and go out and do a little bit of that. You'll be glad you did. They're also catching trout. I mentioned the flounder, bluefish, and sheephead, and it's kind of like a homemade do-it-yourself seafood platter of some really fine-eating fish. So keep all that in mind. Go wet a line. Remember to shop with your local tackle shops, where you'll get great prices and free local knowledge and better bait. Not kidding. We'll talk about more about that another day. I hope you have a great day, and may the good Lord bless you.